Now, we talk a lot about finding apartments on this channel, but what happens like when you find one? Like, where do you park? Well, Marcus, you park in the parking lot, right? Like, apartments have parking lots, right? Sure, apartments have different parking options, but what are they? Where do you park? And so we're going to touch on 4 different parking options that you have when you actually find an apartment or want to move into one. So the first one we're going to touch on is uncovered parking. This is pretty much a parking lot, right? So you have your apartment and it has parking around or through or under or in between. This is like no shade, uncovered parking. It's a building, obviously that's going to be the apartment, and then there's a parking lot. And it's typically like a first come, first serve. Hey, we have so many spots around this entrance, around this building, whoever gets there, right? But they may have it gated, right? Because it is going to be that particular property's parking spaces. It'll be gated, so you'll need a code to get in and get out. But other than that, once you get through the gate, it's uncovered. And that's why you may have some properties that will say, hey, this parking is for residents only, or no more than 1 or 2 guests per apartment unit, because that's how they determine the number of parking spaces they need for that property, right? So that's why you'll see different signs and stuff like that. So uncovered parking, number 1. Number 2, you have covered parking. Now, typically when you hear people say covered parking, or if you hear an apartment property say covered parking, it's pretty much the parking lot, but then maybe like a carport cover that's above it, right? So it's still outside, right? If it does rain, your car does get wet, but if the sun is out, like if it's Texas summer, and you are under the covered parking, right, or the carport top, right, which may be metal, and it might have like metal beams, and there's like a metal cover on top of it, it blocks you from the sun, so therefore your car will stay cooler versus the car that is parked in uncovered parking, right? So that's number 2, right? Covered parking. Then you have garages, but then there are 2 types of garages. You have detached garages, and then you have attached garages. And the difference is, if it's a detached garage, that means that garage is a standalone garage. You'll probably park in the garage or park in that detached garage and then walk across to your unit or walk over or whatever, but you park your car in one place, you walk to your unit in another place. And the reason why I say it's a standalone garage is because that could be 2, 3, 4 garages in that one building, but it's only garages, so it's detached. When you hear the term detached and attached, that is referring to its relation to the apartment property of the apartment unit. So if you hear detached garage, it's probably going to be a building of 2 to 4 garages, which will be 2 or 3, 2 to 4 other individuals who may be renting out that garage, and each of you will walk to your own apartment unit, right? So that's detached. Attached means that you are able to get to your garage through your apartment. So maybe you walk into your apartment, cut through your kitchen, and there's a door that opens up to your garage space. Or maybe you have to go upstairs or in your living room and you open the door, you walk downstairs to that garage. When you hear attached garage, that means that you can access it from within your apartment unit, or within being inside. Maybe there's like a little walkway in between, but it is connected to your apartment unit in most cases, right? So that's those types, right? So that's, even though that's number 3, garages, that has 2 types of garages, detached and attached garages. And then you have what's called number 4, I will tell you, but number 4, I want to get the number first. You have parking garages. Now, parking garages is similar to the uncovered parking because it is pretty much first come, first serve, but it is a garage, shaded garage, which is first come, first serve. So similar to open parking, right? Or uncovered parking, where it's first come, first serve, you have parking garages, but because it's a parking garage, it's typically shaded. So when you pull into the parking garage, it typically has a door that you have to, a door or an entry that you have to open with your key fob or anything like that, or maybe you have a code, or I said key fob. I'm thinking apartment doors. When you go to the garage, there'll be some type of button that you'll open. You'll click. It can be like a scanned code on your car. It can be an app, whatever. There are different ways to open it as long as you're a resident. And then you'll drive into the garage, and which will be obviously covered. And so the parking garage will be covered, but it's also first come, first serve. There typically isn't any ability to reserve a spot unless you're living like in a really, really dense area. This would be something like a downtown Austin, to where you have a parking garage, but you can also reserve your own spot within that garage. So I guess that's really, I don't want to say that's a fifth type of parking option in an apartment, because it's really the same as a parking garage. It's just, does it offer reserved spots or not, right? So you typically will not see reserved spots within a parking garage, category number 4, in your general apartment areas. But if you are living downtown, or if you are living in a dense area, that property may have the ability to reserve your own spot within the parking garage. So just make sure that you ask the leasing office or that property what their parking options are. So that's it. I hope this was helpful. I know this might have seemed like, well, duh, Marcus, but this could be like a duh topic. But I wanted you to know that there are different levels, there are different options. Some properties offer, one or two of those, and other properties offer the other two, one or two. So I don't want you to go into the apartment thinking that all apartments offer all ability to reserve a parking space, that all apartments offer you detached or attached garages. I don't want you to think that all apartments have uncovered parking. It's going to be property specific. So please ensure that you double check and confirm, so that you know what you have access to when you move there. So if this has been helpful, by all means, give it a like, all that great good stuff. But if I left anything out, please leave me a comment. I'll do my best to get it done in a future video. If you need some help with your apartment search, give me and my team a shot. We'd love to help make this more streamlined and easier for you. And if you're already in an apartment and you're just like, bro, got it covered, but you want a couple of items to make your apartment feel like home, then check out the description. We have a couple of links where we did some searches for you, so that I can take that to-do item off your list and you can just get it going. So until next time, stay awesome.
Whoa.